Leonidas drops the stun and drops the full ult. Oh my goodness, look at the health bars. It's a quad kill.
Should find the kill. Lunara will clean up that fight. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It is going to be Soul Shield. You gotta be kidding me.
Raw to take the 3v1, gets one, looking for the second. Crispy is popping off.
Looks like that Blizzard may connect with 4 people.
People, Lady Ronin! Oh my goodness, what a chat!
That was really good.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another night of NGS action. Look at that beautiful intro indeed. Whoever did it, top-notch work. Looking at you, Raka. Welcome to Division B West tonight. We are changing it up. We are no longer, this was going to be potentially the 4th night in a row casting Division C West, but tonight we've gone up a tier to Division B West, and we've got a very fun matchup tonight. We've got ReGen Ghost going up against the Spooky Ghost. So we've got 2 Ghost teams having a ghost off to see which one is the better Ghost. My name is ISX, and I am going to get you guys over to the map screen so you can see what's going on, because it looks like these teams are ready to jump into the lobby. ReGen Ghosts, they got to pick the map, and they're actually going to send us the Tomb of the Spider Queen, which we're getting into right now. The bans were done by both teams. Infernal Shrines and Towers of Doom were banned out by ReGen Ghost, and Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple were banned out by the Spooky Ghost. I do not know if these two teams have a history of a matchup, because I believe ReGen Ghost was on the East Coast last season, potentially. Maybe I'm wrong, because I know a lot of their players on the West Coast. I don't know. But I do know that both of these teams, I believe, were in Division B last year, so they're going to be going at it. They've upgraded. They've got a few new players. I believe Jason was not with ReGen Ghost last season, is over there now. Meanwhile, looking at Spooky Ghost roster, actually, it looks like they've pretty much got the same roster. So they're coming back with another season with the same roster. That should be good with them. And we're going to go to Tomb of the Spider Queen first. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do as far as the focus of maps, heroes, picks, bans, things like that. Uther are going to be banned out first. You know, it's a small map, so there's a lot of team fighting. So I anticipate heroes like Johanna, heroes like Diablo, of course, close quarter combat heroes like the Stukov may get focused out as well. Li Ming often does very, very well on this map, so we may be able to see her. So I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. May see her get banned out here as well. Malfurion, another one. But my favorite, and the one I've been watching a lot about, is that Blaze. I want to see if that Blaze is going to sneak on through, or if he is going to get banned out here. Jaina, going to be that second ban coming out here. Not going to see that Frost Mage make it through. Does very well on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Stukov going to get banned out here as well. So we've got a little bit of a healer choke. Lots of tanks still available. Lots of good tanks. ETC does fairly well on this map. Diablo, this is one of his better maps, but Rhaegar left available. And Rhaegar's kind of in a fun spot because he was buffed to the point where he was like an auto first picker ban. Then he got a couple of nerfs to his totem build, so now he's kind of like being let through the pick and drops, but still picked early if a team is going to go ahead and go with him. So Rhaegar going to be picked up by Little Wolf here, how appropriate. And we're going to see how the Rhaegar fares on a map like a Tomb of the Spider Queen, but just like that, we talked about Diablo, and here he comes. Diablo going to come out, and Tychus picked up by Gigglesmack. Tychus has a lot of value on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen. A lot of, like we talked about, close-knit corridors. He can jump into that Commandeer Odin, be able to push that big red button at level 20, but prior to that has a lot of different areas where he could try and land that W or that Q. So we'll see where they elect to go with that. It's going to be Blaze and Kael'thas picked up by the red side here, and so we do get to see Eric with Ak going to be able to pick up that Blaze, and Kael'thas going to be picked up by Boundary X. Gonna hold on to see what this second ban is going to be out of the blue side, and it is going to be that Mephisto. Ooh, it looks like we got like a little webcam issue. Hold on. me see if I can get that refreshed for you guys real quick. I don't know what's going on with the webcam. Seemed to have just frozen in place. We'll see if we can get that back online. Do apologize about that. But it is going to be that Mephisto being banned out. Red side still waiting on their last ban. And it's going to be the Deckard Cain. So not going to hear any old stories from the Deckard Cain here. Waiting to see what these next two picks. It is going to be, oh, ETC and Brightwing. So we've got a double front line, a big double front line coming out of here from the blue side. Going to pick up the ETC and the Diablo. So Diablo going to be trying to just jump in, cause chaos. ETC going to be utilized for a little bit of appeal, but Diablo just has so much value. Could be that off lane Diablo as well. Doesn't push very hard, but with the W build can get those stacks up. And it's going to be the Greymane and the Mei picked up by the side of Spooky Ghost. So we're going to need, I mean, we already see the Tychus. So I was going to say, we're going to need some good, strong poke damage coming out from the blue side. And they picked that up with the Falstad being able to throw the Qs around. Ide going to run around. I believe Ide is known for his Falstad. I'm going to have to double check that. One of his more favorite champions. But looking at these team comps, I mean, a lot of all-around, well-rounded kind of, you know, just scrappiness coming out of the red side from the Spooky Ghost with the Blaze Mei frontline and having the Greymane and Kael'thas. A lot of damage to follow it up. But blue team with that ETC Diablo, I'm excited to see how that's going to work out. I will see you in the game, and we'll get started with game number 1.
Leonidas drops the stun and drops the full ult. Oh my goodness, look at the health bars. It's a quad kill.
Should find the kill. Lunara will clean up that fight. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It is going to be Soul Shield. You gotta be kidding me.
Trying to take the 3v1, gets one, looking for the second. Crispy is popping off.
Looks like that Blizzard may connect with 4 people.
Oh, Lady Ronin! Oh my goodness, what a chat!
That was really good.
All right, we're still in the loading screen, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, somebody's got to get their, potatoes plugged in, but it does give us a little time to look at the drafts a little bit closer. I'm really excited to see. I believe it's going to be ETC in the off lane now. Now that I think about it, ETC's got to be in the bot. Diablo's got to be running with the 4-man. Just because of the stun potential he can have in between that mid and top lane. But we'll see how they decide to play this one. Anyway, introducing these two teams on the blue side. We've got the ReGen Ghost. We've got Mongoose on the ETC. We've got Aaron on the Diablo, Jason on the Brightwing, Gigglesmack on the Tychus, throwing out that grenade, and we got Ide 15 on that Falstad. Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got the Spooky Ghost. We got Kalidas on that Greymane. We got Eric with that on the Blaze. We got Boundrex on the Kael'thas. Little Wolf running around on the Rhaegar. And Rogoth on the Mei. And into the mid lane we go. Fight's going to be a little bit scrappy. Kael'thas going to get some globes, so we're not going to see the convection Kael'thas. How sad. Mei going in. Try to get a little bit of damage. Falstad gonna go for that Q build, so he's gonna be able to build a lot off of getting those hammering throws. ETC goes in, gets a slide onto the Kael'thas. Diablo follows in, but the Unstoppable is popped, so Kael'thas is gonna be able to walk himself away. Both teams throwing down in the mid lane. Blaze gonna come up and get a stun as ETC roams down, but ETC is gonna get away. And now we're going to see these rotations through the mid lane. And Diablo's got to know that he is in control of this entire rotation. Gets a big stun onto the Mei, immediately has to pop the passive, and Diablo has to walk himself away. And we're just going to keep our eye on Diablo as he rotates through a lot of these different camps. Oop, sorry. But Mei did do a good job pushing this out. I believe Brightwing will be able to pick these up, but Greymane and Rhaegar immediately going to go ahead and pick up their own camps. None started for the blue side so far. Mei getting a little bit low in that mid lane. Going to have to go tap. Does have it available. But in the bot, we see Brightwing teleporting in at full health. Eric with that going to have to walk away, probably calling in a little bit of assistance. These are still fairly healthy. Greymane rotating down, as is Rhaegar. So 2 red members on the way to help finish off this camp. Blaze going to re-engage. Brightwing getting fairly low. ETC gets a nice knockback with the W. Saving, oh, Brightwing, one auto attack and Greymane connects. First blood going over to the red side. They also pick up the camp. ETC getting knocked up, crowd controlled all over the place. And that's going to be a second kill picked up by the Spooky Ghost. Falstad gonna have to sit in the mid lane and clear out all these minions. So a nice camp timer rewards the red side with a second camp and 2 kills. And get themselves about a full level lead, almost close to a full level lead. Kael'thas immediately gonna go back to picking that up, getting the extra mana when he lands those gravity lapses. So we're gonna have to keep our eye on Kael'thas. Blaze going for a little bit more damage. Makes sense being in the off lane. Totem's being picked up by the Rhaegar early. Diablo gonna start building into that W build as anticipated. But Mei getting flipped, getting knocked back. Gonna slide herself to safety, had the E available. She is taking quite a lot of abuse. They do have quite a lot of single target burn with the Tychus, just able to press the D, use the minigun to try and burn through that Mei. Blaze getting the better end. Gonna rotate up. We'll see if he's gonna, he looks like he's just gonna get the turn in, not gonna rotate up for a full gank, but still being able to push out that wave relatively quickly due to the level 4 talent pickup, has extra increased damage to the minions. I believe it is, yeah, 50% damage. Didn't know if it was 50 or 75. It was the 50%. Falstad only currently sitting at 2 stacks on the queue, though. Ideally, we want to see when Falstad, you know, I usually consider Falstad to start getting scary. So when he gets to around 70 stacks of queue, that's when he really starts pouring down the damage. Ooh, big crowd control going down on Diablo again. Lots of follow-up burst damage in return, and the red side get another kill. They're following it up. Blaze lands a beautiful jet propulsion onto the Tychus, has the oil to just slow him forever, and a second kill. And the red team starting off very hot in this Ghost versus Ghost matchup. Neither team finished with the turn-ins. Mei trying to get a few more gems turned in, but we're going to need a little assistance from the Kael'thas holding on to 10 gems, or Blaze. Blaze can finish it off in the bot lane. And it looks like red team have set themselves up nicely to get the first objective of this Tomb of the Spider Queen map. Remember, it was the blue team that sent us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Diablo going to rotate up. May have a good gank here onto the Rhaegar. Unfortunately, Rhaegar has that increased movement speed. So Rhaegar is just going to be able to get himself away. Little Wolf turning back into wolf form at just the right time. And here comes that first Web Weaver phase. Blue side going to set up to defend the mid lane. Usually teams like to focus the top lane with the push, try to get control over the boss in the top lane objective. Some teams do like to push into the mid. Mei did pick up that slush ball at level 4, so she's going to be able to be like a mini Sylvanas. Turn the structures off for, I believe it's 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. So she'll be able to turn off structures, so anytime she's got her Q up off cooldown, she can just throw it onto the keep, turn it off, prevent the keep from doing, or fort, excuse me, from doing any extra damage. Allow that Web Weaver to just get a little bit more siege. Meanwhile, Blaze getting a lot of value in the bot lane. Actually is going to pick up the fort in the bot lane with the Web Weaver. And now the red team going to rotate to this mid lane. Red team looking pretty solid here in the early game, but 10s are a different story. Once the 10s come online for the blue side, you got to watch out for that APOC Mosh combination coming out here. I'm curious with the Mosh if they're going to go the Hinterling Blast on the fall side. I almost, it's got to be Wind, you know, Mighty Gust into Wind Tunnel, I would assume, just because there's so many walls and corridors that Falstad can get that continual gust into at level 20. But we'll see which way Falstad wants to play it if he decides to go for that Wombo combo synergy from the APOC Mosh. But 10s are online for the red side. It is going to be the Phoenix picked up by Kael'thas, Curse Bullet by the Greymane, the Bunker by the Blaze, Icewell from the Mei, and it's going to be the Ancestral Healing picked up by the Rhaegar. Blue side, they have their Web Weavers. They're trying to get just a little bit more experience so that they get on that even talent tier and use their own heroics. to fight around this Web Weaver phase. Should be just a few more minions. And there it is. The blue team actually going to rotate down for the Blaze. It is the Lightning Breath actually picked up by the Diablo. Blink Heal coming in from the Brightwing. Polymorph goes down onto the Blaze. He's in the bunker, but Diablo came all the way around looking for the charge. Doesn't get it. Instead decides to just breathe fire all over Blaze. Blaze loves fire, but not that much. And is the one to fall down. So blue team get a return kill, first kill of the game. Gonna use it to siege up this bot lane. It is the Gust picked up by Falstad, Commandeer Odin by the Tychus, and it is, ooh, Greymane gets a curse bullet. You heard it connect, getting a lot of damage onto the Diablo, but here we go. Oh, the Gust and the Mosh anti-synergy, unfortunate there. And the red team capitalizes, get 2 kills both on the Diablo and the ETC. Diablo did have the soul, so he will come back. But ETC is like, I got him stunned out here, and Falstad throws the Gust down, knocks him away from the ETC. Just a little lapse in communication coming out from the blue side. Can clean it up, no problem at all, but red team gonna press their advantage, come for a camp invade. We already see Little Wolf, the curse bullet does land on Diablo, takes half of his health. My goodness gracious. And the red team get a successful camp invade, have the gems to turn in, and red team have really looked solid. Just aside from that 1 kill, Blaze getting caught out, have played a very clean game in these first 8 minutes. Gonna go ahead and try and pick up the camp in the bot lane. Kael'thas gets the turn in. We're gonna see the rotation down. I anticipate we're gonna see a mid push out here from the red side. They've got pretty much the top lane already done. May's just gonna be able to finish that off. The rest of the team should collapse mid and try to get as much sieged out in the mid lane to get control over these 2 objectives. And that looks to be what they're doing. Web Weavers have spawned in. Blaze has this pushed out, but has to be careful. You know, there is 2 in the bot lane. ETC already using 1 stun. Isn't going to be able to body block off. Backs up, and Eric with that just going to be able to continue to poke. Rengar taking a few tower shots, but the curse bullet did land. Diablo gets out of the ice wall. And the red team going to siege up this top lane. Kalaitis going to be able to get those finishing touches. The keep, or fort, excuse me, picked up. 13's now achieved by the red side, so they're going to be able to use that with this mid push. See if they can finish some of these structures. They do have the slush ball from the Mei. Blaze still has minions in the bot lane. Falstad now up to 18 stacks. Kael'thas over almost 30 globes, 9 minutes in. Well done, Boundary, picking up. Kael'thas definitely likes being in the 4-man, rotating between top and mid, getting as many globes as he can to get that shield. And Blaze just going to unload the rest of his gems. And we do see a boss play being picked up by the red side here. Going to just continue to dictate control of the map by getting all of these camps. They've done an excellent job picking up all of the neutral objectives. Rogot just sitting in the bush, going to be able to slow and stun out anybody that comes anywhere near the boss, and the boss has been picked up. Now, this boss is a relatively weak boss. ReGen Ghosts are going to have no problem clearing it out. Should only lose their 2 turrets and the wall. But it's the continual map pressure, because this puts Blaze in the other lanes, allowing him to push it in. That is going to be the benefit for the red side. And Mei actually gets an ice wall onto the ETC, so she's going to be able to get the stun. There we go. But the beautiful cleanse was allowing ETC to be able to slide himself to safety. Diablo kind of just hanging out, does charge into the boss, gets knocked back by the tornado, but is able to squeak on through the wall. Boss almost going to go down. Tychus being able to pop the Odin there. ETC looking like he wanted to go in there for a second, but Kael'thas landing a beautiful grab left. Here comes Falstad in from behind. The Mosh goes down onto Greymane. The damage going down, but the Ancestral is popped. Greymane was actually fairly healthy when it's popped, and the red side actually getting the better end of this trade so far. So blue team committed a lot of resources. It was a nice rotation in from the Falstad, but ultimately team just not able to capitalize on it. Greymane, the only one caught in that Mosh, didn't seem to be focused very well. I anticipate Rhaegar thought Greymane, since he was caught, was going to get focused out. And Greymane was just like, nah, I'm good. So the Ancestral Healing, it wasn't a bad Ancestral Healing by any means. It was the right play, you know, anticipating your Greymane's going to get blown up, just Greymane didn't get focused. It's kind of that trying to predict what the enemy's going to do and anticipating something, and then the enemy doesn't do it, and you're like, wait a minute, what? With the blue side, that was a great play in from the Falstad, so we'll see if they can get another one of those. The good news is ETC is going to have that mosh up in 48 more seconds. He did take the reduced cooldown with a W, so if he can get a W here on the 2 members, that mosh will be up very quickly. May looking for the ice wall. We do have an invade coming in here from the red side. Brightwing going to be able to teleport herself in on the Diablo. The Gust used to disengage. May pops a passive, but the Phoenix getting some value, and they're not going to be able to finish off the camp. They have to get themselves out. Diablo going to be the one to go down. Has no souls, so he will not be able to, or doesn't have 100 souls. Oh, a big stun by the Blaze. It connects, and that is a huge gem takedown there from the red side. Tychus able to get some of them, get the big gem, but look at this camp's pressure in the mid lane. Spooky Ghost doing an excellent job at just controlling the map, putting relentless pressure on the blue side. Blaze connecting again with another jet propulsion, and the follow-up is immediate from the gray main, and this is going to be a keep, and we may actually see a core call being called out here. Blaze is already starting the siege. The rest of the team is here. Diablo will be up in 1, Brightwing in 7, but the shield is falling. Tychus is coming around, has the gems, rotating back to try and set up for the defense. We'll see what the red side, blue side can do. They have 4 members up so far. Kalidus is being focused by the Falstad, getting fairly low, is able to jump himself away. 55% on the core, the disengage from the Falstad. Blaze connects with the Brightwing on the jet propulsion, but Greymane jumps in. The flip is there, 20%, 19%, 12%, and this is going to be it. GG's will come out. Red team able to take a very commanding game number 1, looking solid in this early season. Spooky Ghost coming away with a 1-0 win in the Ghost Off competition. And ReGen Ghost, it just seemed like they weren't, the communication wasn't quite there. You know, they got the play. I see the draft, I see what they wanted to do. They just had a couple of anti-synergy moments with the ETC Mosh and then the Falstad Gust. And then when the Falstad came in and was like, guys, I'm behind him, I'm going to gust him into us, we're going to get the fight here. Just didn't seem that the follow-up was quite there. Everybody wasn't in position to really execute and get the kill onto the Gray Man that they're looking for. So just a little, small things on the blue side, nothing that a little communication won't be able to clean up. The technical side was there, but the red team just relentless on the camp pressure. That was a lot of the story of this game, which is weird because Tomb of the Spider Queen isn't necessarily known for just being all about the camp pressure, but the red side definitely made this game about the camps. 10-2 were the kills. It feels like there's non-stop fighting pretty much that entire game. So with only 12 deaths between the two teams, it's a little surprising, but 39K Greymane, 33K from the Tychus. The soak game, I mean, Blaze was doing an excellent job picking up those minions in the off lane. Falstad was trying to match it. It seemed that they were kind of just rotating between the Falstad and the ETC to see who could, pick up that soak. But it's really hard to pick up that soak when you're constantly like, okay, we got to clear these camps and we got to make sure we stop them in the top lane. And we also got to make sure we stop them from turning in the objective. And Red Team just did a very good job of causing so much chaos in that game. Looking at the talents for those interested in those things, ETC, the only one to grab that level 16 talent right at the end, going with the showstopper. But overall, I like the builds. I mean, ETC was in the offlane, so Echo Pedal makes a lot of sense. Trying to just match that level 4 pressure from Incinerator Gauntlets out of the Blaze. Tychus going for that grenade build, probably would have continued it with the 16 pickup. Falstad going heavy into the Q build, picking the barrel at 4, and then the sustained wins at 13. Diablo kind of went more of a hybrid build. He took the Malevolence at level 7, which, I mean, it works with the Lightning Breath. I mean, with the W build, it definitely will give that increased spell power, so that increased spell damage. So if you get your auto attack off, yeah. And then, looking at the red side here, I mean, Totem build coming out of the Rhaegar, pretty much heavy into the Q build, which I've seen a lot of Maze doing recently. I'm going to have to look because I didn't think that heavy into the Q build was necessarily the best, but maybe they thought with the Falstad and the Tychus both auto-attacking, get a lot of value from the double Q. I'm going to have to look into that one a lot more. pretty standard offlaner stuff coming out of the Blaze, standard gray main, pretty standard, going heavy into the Living Bomb out of the Kale Toss. So overall, well done by these two teams. But that was just game number 1. Game number 2 is going to be right around the corner. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go run to a quick commercial break, and then we should be ready to get set up for game number 2. We'll see you in a few minutes.
I shall be your shield.
Blessing upon friends!
Hell, it's about damn time.
We are steadfast in the face of peril.
Don't underestimate a Nephilim.
Stormwind honors those who serve.
This is only the beginning of our journey.
My wrath shall not be quenched.
Your deeds bring honor to us all.
By steel or fang, we will prevail.
Not even death can save you from me.
I shall be your shield.
Blessing upon friends!
Hell, it's about damn time.
We are steadfast in the face of peril.
Don't underestimate a Nephilim.
Stormwind honors those who serve.
This is only the beginning of our journey.
My wrath shall not be quenched.
Your deeds bring honor to us all.
By steel or fang, we will prevail.
Not even death can save you from me.
Oh, alrighty. Well, I don't know what's going on with the webcam, but it seems to be a little bit frozen. I've tried resetting it twice. It just does not seem to want to reset on me. And so what we're going to end up doing is probably just turning it off and call it, we're having technical difficulties. Whatever. We'll get it figured out down the road. But getting into the second map, we're going to get over to Volskaya Foundry. ReGen Go, since they lost, they were the ones who got to choose between first hero pick or map pick, and they chose to go with first hero pick. So that means Spooky Ghost now gets to pick the map, and they are going to send us on over to Volskaya Foundry, which is you know, for those who are familiar with me on this channel, not my favorite map in the world, but I mean, it's Heroes of the Storm. I love casting Heroes of the Storm. I love watching Heroes of the Storm. So any chance I get to watch it, I'm definitely gonna do that, even if it has to be on Volskaya. And the team comps, the drafts can be very similar. Volskaya is just kind of that all around, you're gonna do a lot of fighting on the map. So a lot of teams pick up team fight oriented composition. So the composition we saw coming out of the red side could easily be put in and rolled, you know, run back again here on Volskaya Foundry. So I anticipate the blue side, if there are, you know, certain champions that they want to address, they may get rid of them. You know, they go for the banning the Mephisto in the first round here. Not a bad idea. Mephisto gets a lot of value because everybody tends to stay a little grouped up over the objective fights. So Mephisto, want to get rid of him so he doesn't get that big damage with the ring, being able to just shade himself in and back out kind of deal. But looking at other bands that could come through, the May band could come through, the Blaze could definitely come through. I'm so excited that people are, you know, my first 3 casts, nobody picked up Blaze. I was like, what is going on? Or my first 2 casts. Then last night, they started picking up the Blaze, and now tonight we've seen the Blaze come out. Already 1 game. Blaze has a 100% win rate, I believe, through all my casts so far. Blaze is just in such a good spot right now, so I'm really happy to see the Blaze coming out. Stukov and Johanna going to be the bands again, so both teams sticking with very similar bands. If it was an Uther, it would be pretty much identical to how we started, except for it was Johanna, Stukov, Uther, and I don't remember what the last one was. Mephisto was banned in the second round last time. But we'll see. And it is going to be that Rhaegar. So Little Wolf says, if I can't have it, no one can. And they get rid of the Rhaegar. That allows Mongoose to pick up Leoric almost instantly. And Leoric has a lot of good value on a map like Volskaya. Just overall, being able to throw down that Entomb, really set your team up for a good combination, be able to put down a lot of burst damage onto 1 or 2 targets. It's very, very powerful. And Leoric also does a very good job in that off lane, being able to just bully off most off laners. Blaze is going to be the one that's going to go up against Leoric. Blaze can sustain fairly well as long as he, you know, plays well around the the drain coming out of Leoric. And Tychus going to be picked up by Kalidas. So switching of the hero there, I believe it was Giggleshmack that ran the Tychus. And now we get an Ariel Vala pickup. Jason and Ide immediately picking it up. I don't want to say it, but could we see a Cho'Gall? I'm going to anyway. Could we see a Cho'Gall between Giggleshmack and Aaron? Giggleron? Could we see a Giggleron come out? Probably not, but I would love to see it. I mean, the thing with Cho'Gall on a map like Volskaya, Cho'Gall's got to get to 16 to really turn on. Ariel's got to be his healer. Volskaya always goes to 20. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw a Volskaya map not go to 20. So, you know, champions that rely on the late game, Zeratul, Nazeebo, Cho'Gall, all those champions will get to those level 16 plus power spikes. You just got to make sure you don't fall too far behind while you get there, kind of deal. So they're very much in play on these maps as opposed to like a Braxis or an Infernal Shrines where sometimes the map ends early or there's too much pressure already created that it's really tough to come back in. Volskaya, typically not that map. So you can run, especially now with the changes to the wells, it makes it even harder to get value on Volskaya. But it is going to be Tassadar and Anduin picked up by Boundary and Little Wolf, and we'll see what ReGen Ghost wants to do here. I just want to see it because it'd be so fun to see. I don't think it's going to happen. It is going to be the Tyrael and the Sonya, so we're seeing this triple frontline hypercarry Vala coming out from the side of ReGen Ghost. Not a bad idea. Tyrael going to be able to go for that Judgment. Sonya going to follow up with the leap, or vice versa. Sonya leaps, Tyrael Judgment, in. Leoric able to get the Entomb down, and then Vala just in that hyper carry mode with Ariel as the support. Very, very strong single target, want to control these team fights kind of composition coming out of ReGen Ghost. It takes a little bit of time to scale. So in the early game, that's where Spooky Ghost will be able to abuse them, and they grab an Anubarak, somebody with a lot of single target lockdown. So if they can find the Vala out, that Vala will get destroyed. Also, Anubarak going to be able to put anybody under in that cocoon. It's definitely going to be a cocoon Anubarak. Some of this front line, they've got a lot of lockdown and self-peel with the Anduin, the Anubrak, and the Blaze. So it's really going to come down to those engages. If Tyrael and Sonya can, if they can get the Vala to follow up and burst it down right away, then we'll be able to see, potentially blue side winning some of these post-10 fights. Red team definitely has the potential to disengage from these fights. So it's gonna be interesting. Coffee was still also Gall still being active while in the Triglav sag. I want to see a Cho'Gall too. I really wanted to see a Cho'Gall. Like, it would be so fun. Although I do believe they have, I'll have to double check, but I think it is a ban that Cho'Gall is not allowed to get into the Protector, or maybe it's Brightwing's not allowed to get in the Protector. Somebody's not allowed to get into the Protector because of a bug. I don't remember which one it is. But here we go. Game number 2, introducing these teams for the second time tonight. On the blue side, we've got ReGen Ghost. We got Mongoose on the Leoric, Gigglesmack on the Sonya, Ide, 15 on the Whitemane, Jason on the Ariel. Sorry, I said Whitemane, I meant Vala. It just looked like Whitemane for a second. I don't know why. And Aaron on the Tychus with the Sad Cloud. Tychus, Tyrael. My gosh, it has been a long day. All right, on the red side, we've got the Spooky Ghost. We got Clidius on that Tychus. We got Little Wolf on the Anduin. We got Nolius subbing in on that Anubarak. We've got Boundary X on the Tassadar. And we've got Eric Withak on the Blaze. Into the mid lane, both these teams kind of just, sniffing each other out, making sure that they respect, last one started off with a bang. Both teams just jumped in and started fighting. This one, a little bit more passive play coming out at the level 1. It's a much bigger front line coming out of the blue side. So it's going to be tough to get to that Vala in the back line. There is a champion that can do it. Anubrak loves burrowing and trying to find that single target to lock down. We got a root here. We got an Impale. Can we get the burrow? That's a lot of damage going on onto the Tyrael, and Aaron not able to get away. And that'll be first blood going over to the red side. Tyrael went a different direction, and the whole red team was in that bush. And the lockdown that comes out of the red side, too much to handle for a level 1 Tyrael. And red team again coming in with first blood. Red side gonna go ahead and get started on their camp again. Red team had the camp advantage in the last game, looking to get it here as well. Delta Sniper, there used to be a bug with Brightwing, could heal while inside of the vehicles. That's no longer a thing. Now she's not allowed to blink heal the vehicles. There we go. I do remember the healing inside the vehicles. I think they fixed that with one of the more, I can't remember what patch it is. It's been all over. There are always these interesting bugs that come out with these Protector, but yes, Brightwing not able to blink heal and get those vehicles in tip-top shape. Coffee, love seeing Leo in the janitor skin with the soap mount. Absolutely. Look at that, gonna go clean up some lanes indeed. Great synergy coming in from Mongoose there. Gotta love it. But so far, first objective, about 13 seconds away from starting off here. Blue side did go ahead and get their own turret camp. Red team picking up their siege camp. Gonna use that to create a little bit of pressure in the top lane. Blue team gonna need to do the same thing. Probably are gonna send somebody right about now to go get that started. And I gotta hand it over. I really think red team has the advantage in this this first objective. Now we know the first objective isn't as valuable on Volskaya, and again with these changes, the ultimate prize with the Protector, the first Protector, was trying to get the top lane fountain. Now that is invulnerable. You cannot pick it off, so you only are able to kill it with killing the fort, and the Protector typically doesn't get the fort. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams start to adapt and, change their approaches with the Protector on Volskaya Foundry, knowing that they cannot pick off the fountains anymore. Maybe even less emphasis will go down onto the Protector. I know at one point teams were like level 10 before they even fought over the first Protector. In one of the other games, they just put absolutely no value on the Protector. one of the weaker objectives pre-20. The red team just giving this one up. They got 60%. We're happy with that and said, you know what? You guys can channel it for a little while. We're going to go back to our soaking. Good point being brought up by Sylvan Chat. Vala can get a lot of those stacks off of the Protector, as could a Zul'jin. So the red side might be like, you know what? We don't want the Protector because Vala's just going to keep stacking on it. But here we go. We got the engage. Nubrak goes in, gets the burrow, also got the impale. Big damage coming out, but Ariel doing a good job healing through most of it. Turret and support camp dropped, and a Nubrak the first to fall. Blue team turning this right back around, trying to get a couple more kills. And great disengage, re-engage coming out of the blue side. They get the kill, and they're going to go back to channeling. Nope, they're stepping off of it for a second. Now they're stepping back on. That was a pretty good engage coming out of the red side. It seemed like they were just a little off with the timing, but ultimately they got the Blaze Jet Propulsion, they got the Nubrak Impale, they got the Burrow, but Ariel able to get the heal off, the peel coming in from the Tyrael, the support camp, getting some value. Or no, there was no support. Yes, there was a support camp. And now we are back at it again. Full 5-man strength into this mid objective. Blue team in control. And blue team doing a good job in these first 10 levels. I thought blue team was going to have a little bit of a disadvantage of the first 10 levels, but blue team playing it strong. We get a Q in from the Sonya. Nubrak has to get himself out so low and is going to go down. They follow up on the Blaze. Anduin is able to pull him away, and blue team is going to get that first Protector. It's going to be Tyrael and Ariel picking up, and we'll see if they do end up sending it to the top lane after they pick up that tower, and that is where they're going to head. They do have the Anubrak down for just a little while longer. That's a lot of globes being picked up by Sonya. They're going to go ahead and start burning it. Protector down to about half health. Tychus just going to be able to absolutely shred through that Protector. And that is really it. The Protector may try and go get this last turret here. Blaze is going to come up, try to delay it. But just the front wall picked up by this Protector. 10's coming online for both teams. We'll go over that here. We're waiting for Leoric to pick up his 10. Ariel goes ahead and goes with the Crystal Aegis, leap by the Sonya. It is going to be the Sanctification coming in from the Tyrael, not the Judgment. So going more for that peel on the Vala to just prevent the engage, you know, peel back from the engage coming out on the red side. Ooh, a big leap coming in from the Sonya. Blaze able to get inside his bunker, goes on the other side of the wall. Jet Propulsion's away and says, peace out. Red team, meanwhile, was able to get the support camp and immediately starts pushing, like the reaction from the red side. Pick up a camp, start to put some pressure elsewhere. Vala did go for the Rain of Vengeance. Meanwhile, on the red side, it is going to be the bunker, as we saw by the Blaze, Black Hole by the Tassadar. It is the drill picked up by Tychus. 3 beefy frontliners. Tychus wants a little bit of extra damage going down. It is the Cocoon picked up by the Anubrak. And they're getting a lot of value in this top lane. Red team getting this entire fort uncontested, and Blaze just solo defending the bot side. Does not have the bunker available, so has to get away. He did jet propulsion in, so Vala is trying to follow up. Sanctification dropped. I don't know if that was a misclick. Maybe he was just, I'm not sure. But they are trying to finish it off down here in the bot lane and do get it. So it's a fort for fort. Tyrael going to be able to just get himself away. Nubrak trying to follow up. Unsuccessful in doing so. So 1 fort for 1, 2-to-1 in kills. Experience pretty close to being even. Item advantage. Support item for the red side. I don't believe there's any turrets for the blue side, so just the support item. But that's a big item for the red side. Ooh, Leoric went with the March of the Black King. It looks like Anduin may have been waiting to see what Leoric picked up, and he goes for the Holy Word of Salvation. Doesn't go with the Light Bomb. And both these teams playing a very passive, very peel-heavy focused game. Both teams now on their 13. Red team going to try and siege up this mid lane, have a camp pushing in the top. Blue is able to pick their own as well. Tyrael went with the blocking fields at 13, looking to get some picks in the choke point, specifically up in this corridor and down in these little choke points off around the turret camp. So I anticipate we may see some invades coming out of the blue side here with the leap block field combination. That is where blue side is going to get probably their most value out of that talent pickup from the Tyrael. But we'll see how this second objective phase ends up panning out. Nubrak going to just burrow away. It lands right in the middle of the block field, so the block field says, get off to one side there. %15% picked up so far by the blue side. Both teams just kind of hovering around. Blaze goes in, lands the Jeff Propulsion on Tyrael. Tychus immediately follows it up. Sanctification drop. Vala is underneath in the back. But the red side immediately backs themselves away. Weren't able to get the pick onto the Tyrael. Tyrael got healed up nicely by the Ariel. Now the red side looking to re-engage. They only burnt the cocoon, so they still have a lot of ultimates left. Blaze gets the engage. Nubrak going way in deep, all the way in the back line. Drops the support camp immediately. Tychus was able to shred through the Leoric with the help of the drill. I tried to say two names at once and it came out the wrong way, but red team able to get the kill on the Leoric. Good news, Leoric will be able to get back relatively quickly, spawn right on the camp. The red side actually going to go immediately try and pick up the support camp. Blue is nowhere in position to contest. Vala and Tyrael both had to back. Ariel actually is going to try and contest it. Nubrak gets the burrow in the Impale. The Crystal's Aegis is popped, but the re-engage from the black hole, and Ariel just gets popped. Holy Word of Salvation is going to heal everybody up quite nicely there, and the red team gets another support camp picked up. So Ariel just trying to go in, get a little bit of scouting, got a little too close to the enemy team. They're able to make her punish, get some of that chain CC. Now the blue side going to go pick up some turrets. I don't believe they have the vision on who is on that top camp since the lane was pushed out. Maybe Leoric is going to go scout. I was wondering if they're going to go get the second turret camp, and they are. They see Blaze in the bot lane. Nobody on the camp, so it looks like they're just going to go get up a double turret, which I do like. If you have the vision, you're not worried about the red side coming to get you. Go get as many camps as you can. Get yourself back on the plus side of the item advantage. They've got two. I do not believe they're going to get here in time. So they're going to have to defend this second protector. Red team getting their first protector of the game. Vala will be able to stack up at 45 stacks currently. Going to look to keep getting herself stacked up. And the red side going to just pass right on by mid and head to bottom. So we're seeing typical protector rotations coming out from both sides. Even though you can't pick up the fountain, they're looking to grab the standard pickups here. Although the protector is already down to half health, they're going to walk it forward, see if they can get some big damage down onto this fort in the bot lane. Got it down almost half. Going to have to back the protector away. Now re-engaging the protector. Nubrak looking like he's ready to pop on out and potentially get in a fight. But the red side just goes ahead and backs themselves away. Got about half of the fort in the bot lane, but not able to pick up the fountain. Got to get the remaining half to get the ultimate prize of the fountain. And the red team going to go ahead and farm up their camp. Blue's going to do pretty much the same. And so we've got about a half-level lead so far for the red time. I don't anticipate much fighting coming out of these two teams before the level 20s come online. And now we've got the whole team engaging onto this fort in the bot lane. The drill is committed as well. That means it will not be available for potential fight. Vala coming in with Ariel, but they're not able to find the fight that they're looking for. So red team going to get that bottom fort. Big pickup for that third objective when it comes online. The red team looking to position over this top lane. We've got everybody up in the top half of the map. Blue side have started off the support camp. Red also looking to engage. It's 2 turrets to a support camp so far. So blue team can put down the double turrets to defend the support. Both teams waiting. Tyrael puts the blocking field down. Blaze gets in past. Big black hole onto 3 members. Leoric getting very low, but the Crystal Aegis is able to get off. Ooh, a beautifully timed Holy Word Salvation, but a beautifully timed leap combo from the Tyrael just lowers everybody's health bar. Leoric is the second one to fall. Blaze is fairly low. We got a 2-for-2 kill so far. Big pickup on to the Ariel there. Vala has to run herself away. The red team does come away. So Sonya drops the support camp. A lot of back and forth in that fight. I mean, it looks like red team just had it won right off the bat, but then a beautiful leap onto 3 members in time to get the Tyrael passive to explode, really even that fight back out, and then it was just a matter of who could get the remaining members. It ended up being, I believe, when all was said and done, a 4-for-2 in favor of the red side. Either that or a 4-for-3. Vala and Sonya live. So it was a 3-for-2, sorry. It was a 3-for-2 pickup. Red team coming out on top, but all items, I believe, were burned in that entire fight. So it's just a turret to a turret for this final objective. Red team has the upper hand to the level 20s. So they're going to try and get the soak. And blue team, they should be okay. The 19s will be right. You know, they may try and contest a little bit here just to delay the objective so that they can have time to soak up their 20s before they have to contest. If they can step on this. Oh, they don't get it in time. It was close, but Anurak does back himself away. So the blue team going to get on, and then once the 20s come online, they're just going to back themselves right away and try to get this remaining soak. Now they need to send somebody to the top lane to get that soak, and that's what they do. So they get the delay just for a little bit, which is exactly what they wanted to do. Red team going to walk back on top of it, and they need to get about a half level in, what, a minute? About a minute. They're going to go ahead and siege up this mid, but the red team is there. They've got to get vision. They've got to be aware that the red team could be right around here. 20s are available for the team. Tyrael sees it. The rest of the team heads on up. Blaze is going to keep getting that channel off. It's at 45 so far. Sonya going to try and get this remaining minion wave in the top lane. Tyrael may start off this camp, but I believe if they get these minions, they will have the 20s. So everybody can rotate down now. 20s are online for both sides. We've got the rewind by the Anubrak, upgraded drill from the Tychus, upgraded Holy Word, upgraded bunker, and then Tacit are actually going to go for the force barrier. Meanwhile, upgraded King, Ariel going to go for the Shield of Hope there. Armor buff from the Sonya, improved sanctification coming out of the Tyrael, making everybody empowered, and Vala going to go for that Far Flight Quiver, get that increased attack range, play a little safer. Red team, they know they don't have to contest this right now, only at 25%, so they're going to go pick up one more prize, maybe get a couple camps in their favor. Going to go pick up the support camp. So I like what the red team is doing. Blue side, they're just giving it up. They want to contest. They want to fight right now. They don't want to let them get the advantage. So we got the big fight coming out in the mid lane. Leoric getting fairly low, but Sonya has Tychus down to about quarter health so far. Big black hole again onto 2 members. There's the leap in onto the Holy Word, but it's 2 kills so far. Tyrael trying to get in, gets the explosion onto 2 members. Vala just can't quite chop through everybody. And there's 3 kills. Vala going to get stunned out. Ide gets walled off from the Tassadar, and that is 4 for nothing. The red team just has too much healing, too much sustain through these fights, and immediately go to the top lane. The win condition is available. I do not believe, well, we'll see. They're going to get the support camp. It's going to be poor Jason up against the 5 spooky ghosts here. Tyrael will be up, but I don't think they have the damage. You know, Tassadar and Tychus doesn't have Odin, so they don't have the fastest core shred. Leoric is up as well. So we're going to have a 3-man defense, but without the Vala, it's going to be really, really tough. Leoric throws out the March of the Black King. The support camp is thrown down, and they're like, you know what, we don't have the best core shred, but we've got some. We're just going to get on it. The Sanctification is popped. They jump onto Nolius. Tychus needs to be the focus. Tychus and Tassadar. Bunker thrown down by Blaze, and they all hop on in and park it right in front of the core. GG's coming out. Spooky Ghosts with the 2-0 domination and a second victory, looking good in Division B West. What a game played by both sides here. Spooky Ghosts, little bit tougher there in that second match, but still coming away, playing it very well. Only 4 deaths on their side, so they've kept the deaths low, which was, you know, attributed to this insane healing coming out of Anduin. You know, it was definitely a game of who's going to press their ultimates first. You know, will Sonya leap in and then Anduin pop the Holy Word, or will Anduin pop the Holy Word and then Sonya leap to interrupt it? And even with the interrupts that Sonya was able to get, Anduin still had the healing to keep everybody alive. And ultimately, the hyper carry Vala just didn't quite work out. You know, I was saying the blue side wanted to fight in some tight-knit corridors, but man, Tassadar was landing 3 and 4 man black holes every single time, balling everybody up for Blaze to just jump right on top of. So it was, you know, it was well done by the red side to respond to those close-knit corridor fights, and Tassadar getting a lot of value in some of those late game fights, especially those last 2 big group team fights. But I'm going to message Little Wolf, see if we can get a possible interview. And we will see if they can come in, talk things over. Also, definitely want to thank everybody that came in and enjoyed the match tonight. Specifically, wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to all the followers tonight. Delta Sniper, Nara, Absolute Yoda. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great here. How are you doing? Congratulations on the 2-0 victory.
Thanks.
How's the team feeling right now?
Good. I mean, I think it's our second 2-0 victory this season, so it feels good. We're doing great.
Yeah, starting off the season with a bang for sure. Got 2 dominations to start off your season. So I know we're early on in the season. I'm familiar with Spooky Ghost, but not everybody watching may be. So since we're early on in the season, why don't you just give us a little bit of background on the Spooky Ghost, you know, where you guys have been in your NGS, you know, history so far, and where you guys are at right now.
I think we're like the consummate middle of the road Division B team, because we've been in Division B for forever. We've made it to playoffs, and we've taken games off of some of the better teams. We're not the most consistent team, but I think we have a nice mixture of like competitiveness and also wanting to like hang out, have fun with our friends. Yeah, but no, we've been kind of working on like tightening some of our hero pools. Our new tank player, John, has been really helpful for that. And I think for the most part, I think we've kind of structured ourselves to do well this season. It's not perfect, but we're definitely working on things, which is nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say for you know, you saying that the team hasn't been playing super consistent, definitely off to a great start here with 2 dominations. I mean, and how well everything seemed to be orchestrated. You know, we can go to that Tomb of the Spider Queen match in game 1. You guys just drafted this all around really solid team comp, has good engage, good disengage, good CC, you know, taking the Blaze down to the off lane. Were you at all surprised with the ETC Diablo kind of front line coming out from the side of ReGen Ghosts? And how did you guys kind of prep for that?
Yeah, that threw us off a little bit. I think when we saw the ETC, we were our offlaner Eric. He was worried about. He had brought up, "Hey, are we concerned about the mosh pit? Because that might be an issue." So we considered taking new habits, but then we were like, no. We can beat them just by wave clearing. So we really prioritize, I think, the map on that on that game, because I think we were able to get a very solid macro advantage that definitely carried out through the entire game.
Yeah, and that was, you know, that attributes to the point I was making, that game 1, it really seemed like the macro pressure that you guys were able to create in the early game just continued to snowball and create more. I mean, you got the early camp, the first objective, you got the invade, and from there it just continued to, you know, snowball in your guys' favor. Was that, you know, the emphasis from the get-go, or did you guys just kind of see it forming as the game went and you're like, you know what, let's just continue to roll with this?
I think it's rolling with it. I think a big thing we've been working on is pushing our advantages and learning where we can get like good value. We had capped that bruiser camp, I think, in the middle part of the game earlier, and they decided not to do theirs. So we were able to win the fight over the siege camp bottom. Um, and or later on in the game, I think we did a good job of when we had an advantage of like pushing that advantage, and doing things on the map that were productive.
Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like just the rotations were clean, the team fighting was clean. I really didn't see too much. I mean, they got like I think one fight where they really started. It seemed like the regen ghosts were coming back, but you guys didn't let it phase you. Just regrouped, came out with a very solid victory in game number one, and then we go to game number two. They elect to go first hero pick, so you guys pick the map, send us over to Volskaya, a game that's historically known for going late, and you come out with a similar esque, as far as like a team comp goes, different heroes for sure. You plugged in different heroes across the board. But as the draft, was developing, I mean, how did you guys? What was your strategy going into? I guess this one when you saw the Sonya, the Tyrael, the Leoric, this big front line with the hyper carry volley. You know what it can do in the late game, and how did you guys kind of change your strategy going into the second match?
You're actually a little. Our initial plan going to Volskaya was like, okay, we're gonna run Mephisto, and that's gonna be great because he just outputs a lot of damage, and fighting over the point is really important.
Mhm.
And the outright bandit, which was really kind of it threw us kind of a little bit of a curveball there. And then they picked the Vala, and I know that they also run a Nuther, and I think just being able to keep things alive is really scary, especially into something like Vala.
Mhm.
So we wanted to make sure we got rid of that. And then once we had the draft that we actually ended up with, I think we were just trying to figure out how our team fight should go because I feel like the teams were set up in a way where both of us could be successful. They had a hyper carry Vala with a bunch of big bodies that could take advantage of the health pool from Oriole. So we wanted to look at, well, how can we structure those engages? I think earlier in the game we realized that the Nubrak engages were going to be really hard. So we switched middle of the game. We switched. It was a really good call actually from Eric. We switched to having the Blaze do the engaging and then having follow up with Cocoon on the on the fights so that we would have numbers and then taking them a little bit slower. Um, I think we also did a good job on that map of playing the map when we needed to, as far instead of just fighting into their team. Because I think just by nature of what they had, they wanted to be constantly fighting,
Mhm.
or because I think they outsustained us in those bigger fights if the fights ended up going too long.
Yeah, and that was, some of the things that for sure in the early game there were a couple engages you guys got where you went in, it looked good, especially I think it was that first mid one where Blaze got like a 3-man stun and Nubrak got like a 2-man knockup. You didn't have the ultimates yet with the black hole. But they were able to sustain through it and then counter engage back and ultimately win that first fight and ultimately get that first protector. But then you get to the 10s, you find the choke points. And I mean, Tassadar in those late game fights, the black holes with the Blaze jet propulsion seemed to be the combo. So that switch that you guys made seemed to definitely be the big change that really started dictating. And then, as you said, opening up the map. So well done being able to, to shift through the game. I always end the interviews with two questions. First, I got to ask you, who do you think your team MVP was for this series?
Wow, that's a hard one. I have different answers for different games. I think
Sure.
for the for the Spider Queen game, Greg, our tank player, he actually used to be our main tank, but now he has other commitments, so he's a sub whenever John can't make it in.
Mhm.
I think he did great. He came in like completely cold, and because he hasn't been practicing with us as often, so he did fantastic, and he had just like some great ice walls, especially on the invades. So I think probably Greg for the first game. And second game, I'd probably say Eric on the Blaze. He There was a lot of calls that he helped out with that game, especially on the not fighting for the bottom point,
Mhm.
and I think that turned out really well. I'll also give a side note to Alex, who's our flex DPS player, where at the end there he was the only person that recognized, hey, we shouldn't try going for the point. We can just end here. And everyone collectively like looked up at the bar and we were like, oh yeah, this game's over. We can win it here.
Yeah, I was like trying to do the math in my head. I was like, I think they can end here. And I was like, yeah. At first, I was like, yeah, they for sure can end here. And then I looked at it, I'm like, well, Tassadar and Tychus aren't the best shredders if Tychus doesn't have his drill available. And so I was like, well, okay, we got Ariel up, we got Tyrael coming up in a little bit. He's got the displacement, And then we've got the Leoric. It's going to be close, but there's no real damage yet. It's going to be. And then you guys just all jump into a bunker and end it. And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Bunker's busted. Bunker's so crazy when you're trying to siege core. You just get in it and you're just like, hey, I'm going to do a ton of siege damage and then I'm going to come out of it with like armor.
It was hilarious watching that. I was like, oh, at the end of the game, all the spooky ghosts just jumped into a big bunker together and said, hey, peace. But last things last, I'm going to open it up to you. The floor is yours. Any shout outs you'd like to give to Twitch, go right ahead.
No shoutouts to Twitch. I don't know how to internet, but I don't know. Shoutouts to my team. Everyone did fantastic. Big thank you to John for helping set up like the resources channel. We have like a resource channel on our like Discord where we have things like ready. So he's been like so super cool about like setting up like compositions and heroes and like limiting our hero pools a little bit. And I think whenever I'm drafting, it makes it so much easier now because even though we don't have a team set up for every situation, we always have like a resource that we have available of like, okay, these are some of options that we need to consider. And that's been super helpful.
Hello.
Awesome. Hey. Oh, hello. I'm not sure who we have here.
Neither do I.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's fine. Little Wolf, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This was an awesome interview. Definitely appreciate the interview. Sorry for the random person jumping in. I don't know who that was, but I'm going to end it here. Congratulations again to Spooky Ghosts on your second 2-0 domination victory. Looking really good to the start of the season and looking for more good things to come from the team.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what that was about. That was really interesting, but we had just someone random jump into the Discord with us. And it's like, oh, hi. That is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for hanging around. Sorry, it seemed a little frazzled tonight. I, got home and I was just all over the place with this. And then, 4-year-olds haven't had a tantrum like halfway through the night. So I was trying to manage that and then get back between the commercial break. So it's been quite a crazy night, but ultimately a lot of fun. The Ghost Off was a success. Spooky Ghost comes away with a 2-0 victory. A lot of fun. Definitely some good Heroes of the Storm being played tonight. We had the webcam mishap too. The webcam decided to freeze up. So it's just been a doozy of a night, but I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all so much for coming by. Definitely appreciate all the follows. Again, let me give the shout outs. Mixters, Absolute Yuta, Nara, Delta Sniper, and Eric with the Knock coming in with the follow again at the end. Thank you all so much for the follows. If you had fun, be sure to drop follows on this channel. I go live, try to get 3 casts in a week. I ended up getting 4 in this last week kind of deal, but we're just getting into the beginning of this season 13. Looking forward to a lot more competitive heroes down the road. For me tonight, this has been ISX. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night, or on some places, beginning almost of Tuesday mornings. And I will see you here next time. Take care, everyone.
I shall be your shield.
Blessing upon friends!
Hell, it's about damn time. We are steadfast in the face of peril.